Hello everyone and welcome back to Steins Gate Zero. I'm G and everything has gone horribly wrong. Mayuri and Suzuha got blown up, Akihabara is a war zone, and everything's bad. Anyways, the lights were out at the lab. But inside I found Daru, Maho, and Ferris staring at the TV and computer monitor. Oh, Green!
Okabe, I'm so glad you're safe. Wait, you're hurt! Are you okay?
You get caught up in the fighting?
First aid, quick!
I didn't have the energy to answer them. I looked toward the footage on the TV screen. The reporter was wearing a bulletproof vest and hard hat. He was screaming at the top of his lungs, trying to drown out the reporters from the other stations. It's like a war zone! The area around Akihabara Station and Center Street has been cut off. US and SDF helicopters and tanks are... Oh, just now I heard another huge explosion! Is this really Japan? I feel like I'm reporting on a civil war. The government says that it's terrorism, but I can't imagine. And then a stray shot from an anti-material rifle, fired by a new special forces team from some country or another, struck the news van engine and blew it up. Oh! It exploded! There's been an explosion! Are you trying to get killed? Get out of here! This is war! You're going to die! An SDF soldier forced his way onto the screen and yelled at the media to run away. A war? With who? Hell if I know! Just after that, I heard another explosion and the video was cut off. Did they take a direct hit? Everyone fell silent.
It's dangerous here too. I can't go home.
The net's in an uproar. Yokarine, where's Suzuha? And did you find Mayushi? Suzuha and Mayuri are... Suzuha and Mayuri either went back to the past, or they're dead. What? Daru stormed up to me, infuriated. What do you mean? Which is it? Attack helicopter fired a rocket launcher at the time machine. It was destroyed. Suzuha and Mayuri were aboard. They were about to go back to the past. I saw some pieces of the time machine left, but it wasn't everything. Daru looked and looked, but I couldn't find Suzuha and Mayuri's bodies anywhere. Not even a piece. It's like they'd vanished without a trace. You think they made it back to the past? The tears I tried so hard to hold back came pouring out. Daru fell to his knees. Ferris and Maho were staring at me, eyes wide in shock. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Daru slammed his fist into the floor. This can't be happening! It can't! I tried to wipe away my tears and realized I was holding something in my right hand. It was the cell phone that Mayuri had given me. She told me to read the message on it. It wasn't locked. I opened the mail folder. There were several unsent messages addressed to her friends and family. One of them was addressed to me. Was this what she wanted me to read? With shaking fingers, I tapped the screen to open her message. Dear Okarine, Tsuru, it's Mayushi.
I knew I should probably tell you this face to face, but I wasn't sure if I could say it right. And I wasn't sure what I'd do if you tried to stop me, so I decided to send a message instead. I'm going back to the past with Suzu. You're probably mad, and you want to know why, right? But it's something that I have to do. You see, I was the one who hid my hikoboshi, my strong hikoboshi, who always got back up and left no matter how bad things were. I was the one who hid him behind the dark clouds. I was wrong. No one was trying to make you save the future all by yourself. You've got Daru and Suzu and Lidika and Ferris and Yuki and now Maho. So this time it's my turn. This is my first big mission as Lab Member 002. I'm sure you're worried, but I'll be fine. And even if something happens, I know you'll come to save me. The Kyomahoin I love will come riding in on a new time machine he made and save the day. I know it. So I'm going. I promise I'll come back. I'm back to you, so just wait for me a little, okay? I love Kyomahoin. But you know, I love Rintaro Okabe even more.
Harry, you forgot, didn't you? You're my hostage. You can't be my hostage if you go away. Want me to come save you if something happens? What kind of hostage are you? Mad scientist of madness would never go to save you. Save you. You're an idiot. But I'm a bigger idiot. My heart was in pain. It hurt so much. It was just like after I'd killed Kursu. Maybe I'd be better off if I just fell over and died. I would do anything to be released from this pain. But in the corner of my tear-blurred vision, I saw it. Kyomahoin's final weapon, his last hope. No, it was the thing that had brought me so many nightmares. I staggered to the development room and threw off the cardboard that was covering it. There it was. The phone wave named the change, Unit 02. The thing that Maho and Daru had been working on behind my back. If I could complete this. I turned around, wiped away my tears, and saw my friends looking depressed in the middle of the darkened room. You said you didn't know how to make a time leap machine, right? Will you do what I tell you? I'll give you the answer that Kursu discovered. And then we'll activate the time machine. Maho said the one thing she didn't know was how to compress the memory data, which means that everything else was finished. And I knew how to complete it. Daru was the first to nod. I'm in. Tell us, Ocarine.
I'll help too. It's Elnya!
All three responded with no hesitation. They turned toward me and spoke their answers clearly. All right. Daru, I want you to hack CERN. We'll need to remote control the LHC. We'll use that to compress the memory data down to 36 bytes. That's small enough to send back to the past.
Just 36 bytes?
You could tell she was a scientist by the way her face went pale at the number. But sometimes this thing doesn't work right. Sometimes it's just a normal microwave. It's the 42-inch CRT in the Brown workshop. The phone wave named the change only works when it's turned on.
CRT TV? Oh, so that's it.
Just the word CRT were enough for her to figure it out. The life was coming back to their eyes.
And we may be able to finish it after all. But even if we can't finish it, are you going to start using it now? You can't run human trials without doing anything else first.
You're not confident in what you built?
But
Kursu did it already in another world line.
that's because she's Kursu. I can't be her.
You saw Kursu's message on that channel, right?
What?
Lastly, I'd like you to pass a message to the person I respected the most. I always regarded myself as an essentially ordinary intellect, and you were always the person I wanted to be. You were the real Amadeus. You got Kursu to say that, and now you're going to run away?
I'm not running away. Don't underestimate me.
I nodded back and smoothed back my hair, which had been mussed by the explosion.
Yama, here!
Paris brought me my white lab coat, which had been hanging for ages on the wall in the development room. I bit down on my lip and wiped away the tears one more time. I took the lab coat and slipped my arms through the sleeves. I spun around so that the hem of the coat flew up, and stood triumphantly in the center of the lab, just as I used to. Then I declared in a loud voice, "We will now complete the phone wave name subject to change, Unit 02, and perform a time leap. Lend me your aid. This time, I'm never giving up." I looked at Daru, Ferris, and finally at Maho. "Even if I fail the first dozen times, or the first 100 times, I'll try again 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, or 1,000,000,000 times. I'll save them all. Suzuha, Mayuri, and Kurisu too! And this is the first step. For the first time in a year, I was back to my old self. My friends saw me and nodded, their faces filled with resolve. It took almost 2 full days to finish work on the phone wave. Meanwhile, the chaos in Akihabara continued, and it wasn't safe to go outside. Working on the time leap machine while knowing that the battles might reach us at any minute, or that a special forces team might burst in at any time, was a hard job that wore on our nerves. But still, we managed to finish the machine somehow. I jumped. The next thing I knew, I was standing in the middle of an Akihabara alleyway. I was holding a cell phone in my hand. I had a nasty headache and there was a stinging pain in my neck. I felt a pain on one side of my head like a migraine headache, and the left side of my face hurt really bad. My vision flashed with dark and bright spots. I took a look around. The alley was still peaceful. I heard no gunshots and no explosions. The otaku were enjoying their shopping, and girls in maid outfits were calling out to passersby. That alone was enough to tell me for sure. But the time leap was a success. I looked at the time on my smartphone. July 7th, 5:45 p.m. I had around 40 to 50 minutes before the war began. That still wasn't enough. But the 48-hour limit of the time leap machine meant this was as far as I could go. No point in getting negative. If the machine had been finished just a little later, it would have been too late. I should be glad to have made it here at all. I knew what I had been doing at this time. I was running around Akihabara looking for Mayuri. First, I needed to call Maho. 1 second. I'm gonna see if this is in any way a divergence. I will be right back. Alrighty, it is not, but I'm still gonna call Maho. Maho Hiajo. Hello? Did you find her? No, but I know where she is. Hurry back to the lab. I hung up before she could answer and went back to the lab myself. She was already there by the time I arrived. You found Mayuri, right? Don't you have to go get her? Daru was acting a little awkward, probably because he just hit me. Yajo, you did it! Huh? I grabbed both of her hands and shook them. Both Maho and Daru seemed confused as to what was going on. I've time leaped here from 48 hours in the future. What? Seriously? You finished it? Sometime in the next 48 hours? Yeah. But how? I'll explain later. There's no time, so listen carefully. A lot of lives are at stake. I'd gone over the mission many times while waiting for work on the phone wave to finish. I'd thought of everything to say. Yajo, access Amadeus right now and delete Kurisu and Maho as well as all their backups. Leskinen's not planning on using them for peaceful purposes at all. What? I can't just... I told you I time leaped here, right? Akihabara is going to be a war zone less than an hour from now. They're coming for the time machine. And that will be the beginning of the Third World War. If we don't stop it, Suzuha and Mayuri will both die. Maho and Daru went pale when they heard that. Really? Wait, really? So do as I tell you, please. I can access the data, but to do anything I'll need the professor's access rights. That's Daru's job. Crack in and destroy all the data. Okie dokie, give it to me. Daru started typing at incredible speed. His daughter's life was on the line. Maho stood next to him and typed in her ID and password to begin accessing Amadeus. I'm going to the radio building. You guys stay here. Green, take care of Suzuha. Right, leave it to me. Daru didn't even look up from his computer. Suzuha! Mayuri! When I made it to the top of the radio building, Mayuri quickly ducked behind the time machine.
Green.
Mayuri was trying not to look at me. Her eyes were a little red because she'd been crying so much. She'd heard me talking about Kurisu's sacrifice in the Alpha World line. My heart ached again, realizing how much I'd hurt her. Mayuri, I'm going to use the time machine to go back to the past.
Huh? How?
I've time leaped from 48 hours in the future. I know all about it.
What? Is that true?
I nodded. This place is going to be a war zone in less than 30 minutes.
What? Did someone find out about the time machine somehow?
Yeah.
That's bad. Then we'll have to jump right now.
Suzuha leapt into the time machine. No, wait just a second. Daru and Hyajo are dealing with it. They're smart people. It'll go fine. But if it doesn't...
If it doesn't?
You may die.
What do you mean, may? What happened to us before you time leaped? Wait, there was some fatal failure before you time leaped, right?
I didn't know if I should tell them. No, there was no time to hesitate. You were inside the time machine, and just before it jumped, it was hit by a rocket launcher. But I couldn't find your bodies in the rubble.
I see. That's why you said maybe. And the future hasn't been decided. There's still a possibility of success.
I thought you'd say that.
Don't try and stop me, Uncle.
Her eyes were filled with resolve. They seemed to say that if I tried to stop her, she'd do whatever it took to ensure I failed. Of course, I had no intention of stopping her. She'd come here to do her job, and there was no way to change her mind. Actually, I'd come here to ensure that she could jump without having to worry about Stratford's interference. But Mayuri, the uncertainty that had been going in and out of my mind ever since I'd read her message reared its head again. Mayuri, are you really leaving? I'm sorry I didn't tell you. But I, and Kurisu, and everyone else, we love you. Came to this world line because I wanted to save you. So if you leave, we...
Green.
No. I know exactly how you feel, but...
Hey, Uncle Ocarine.
And then Suzuha spoke softly.
Operation Aquila has begun.
Operation Aquila?
It's not the original plan I was told about. We're not going back to July 28th. We're going to August 21st.
August 21st? That was the day Suzuha had come in the time machine. And the day I'd given up on everything.
We need Big Sis Mayu for that plan to work. That's what my dad told me from the future just now.
What? In the future, Daru had come up with an operation I knew nothing about. And he needed Mayuri for it. Her unexpected words sent my mind reeling.
Ocarine.
And then Mayuri came close enough for me to hold her, and grabbed my hand tight. She looked a little like she was about to cry, but her eyes were clear and bright. Mayuri.
You go, okay? Maybe she's a lab member too, you know? Maybe she's going to take her Glum Hikoboshi and slap him across the face, okay?
remembered what was in that message. I remembered how she must feel right now. The last remnants of my hesitation slowly melted away. I thought I was carrying all the burden myself, but I was wrong, wasn't I? I couldn't see what was right in front of me. It wasn't just you, Mayuri. I had all the rest of the lab with me, too.
Okay.
Ugh! I suddenly felt a horrible pain in my leg as the shock knocked me several meters forward and onto the ground.
Green! Uncle Green!
I looked down at my leg and saw that there was a red stain around the calf. It felt like it was on fire. The pain flared up each time my heart beat, and I couldn't stand. Was I just shot?
You're Kagari!
A girl in a motorcycle suit was standing there. Kagari had a handgun in her right hand, and in her left she was holding what looked like a bomb. There was no sign of the professor or the other men in camo. That much was fortunate, but Kagari had shown up a little earlier than expected. I hadn't quite planned for this, but evidently I'd run out of time. Suzuha, get in the time machine, go now!
What?
I'm sorry for being stupid. Haru's capable of doing whatever it takes to protect you. He's never going to fail. You know that.
Uncle Ocarine!
But the machine will be just fine, right?
Of course!
In fact, there was no sign of anyone but Kagari showing up. That meant that Daru and Maho's efforts had been successful, and they'd kept the secrets of the time machine out of Stratford's hands. Mayuri, you too! Hurry!
But what about you, Ocarine?
She was looking at my injured leg and panicking. There's no need to worry about me. I'm not going to die for another 14 years. Kagari fired again. The bullet struck less than 30 centimeters away from where I was lying on the ground.
Nobody move, or I'll kill him. Okay, in the time machine. I'm going to give it to the professor. And then I'm going to have him tell me how to use it and go back to the future.
Forget about her, I'll handle this, just go! You too, Suzuha, you can leave Kagari to me.
Got it. X is mine, inside. What? Huh? Wait!
Suzuha pushed Mayuri inside the time machine and out of my sight.
Uncle Ocarine, take care of Kagari.
Roger! Suzuha followed Mayuri inside, and at the same time the hatch started to close.
I told you not to do that! Come out!
Kagari ran up to it. I forced myself to stand up, ignoring the piercing pain, and blocked her way. I won't let you interfere!
Shut up! Move!
I refuse!
Move!
Kagari kicked my injured leg, and hard. Pain made me so dizzy I could barely stand. Kagari slipped past me and tried to grab onto the time machine. She was going to use the bomb in her hand. If she did, things would turn out the same as last time. My time leap would be wasted.
Get out, or I'll use this bomb to blow up the machine!
Stop! I grabbed her from behind and wrapped my arms under hers. I pulled her away from the machine, ignoring the pain in my leg. You understand? If you do that, your mom's going to die!
But I...
Just calm down, please! Mayuri tossed a hard drive to me from the almost completely closed hatch.
Ocarine, here!
What fell on the floor was the thing Kurisu had left behind for Maho. This is Kurisu's! How did it get here? I thought Russia had destroyed it.
Don't get mad at Dad. I think he's going to need it for the time machine research.
I could just barely hear Suzuha's voice from within the machine. That was it. Haru had hid it in the time machine.
Ocarine, I'll come back, okay?
I could see Mayuri looking at me from the small gap in the door. That's right. This was a temporary goodbye. I'd see her again someday. Right, Mayuri? So I would send off my brave Lab Member 002 with my head held high. I'm counting on you, Lab Member 002, Mayuri Shiina! Execute Operation Aquila! Slap me in the face for being so pathetic!
Yep, leave it to me. Ocarine, I love you!
Yeah. I smiled as the hatch sealed completely shut. The time machine started to roar. I felt like I heard a helicopter in the distance. I believed in him, but for now I had no proof that Daru had been able to crack the complicated Amadeus system and delete every bit of data. It was possible that Special Forces teams from all around the world were converging on Akihabara right now. Imagining that made me want to hurry. Quickly. Go quickly! I felt like praying as I watched the pale light surrounding the time machine.
Don't go, Mommy! Big Sis Suzaha!
Aguri's cry went unanswered. A bright light covered the time machine and it vanished from this world. It worked! Aguri sobbed and glared at me with eyes full of hate.
Why? Why did you let Mommy go?
She shook away my hands and pointed the gun at my head. I stared her dead in the face. Your wonderful mommy's gone with Suzaha to go scold a stupid man who ruined the world. She's going to do something very important for the sake of the whole world.
You're lying. You're lying. Mommy and Big Sis Suzaha both left me behind.
I'm not lying, and I'm about to go make it so you can meet Mommy in a much happier place. So let's stop this, okay?
No, I can't believe that.
No, I know you'll believe me. Because I know who you really are, and how kind you really are. The gun barrel started to shake a little.
You know me?
I do. I've time leaped from 48 hours in the future. Aguri put her hands to her head as her body spasmed with pain.
I hear the voice of God. It tells me not to believe you. You're a liar and an enemy, it says. It says if I kill you, I can go back to Mommy. It says to kill the bad man who's trying to destroy the world. And then I can go back to my old world.
Aguri wasn't making any sense. Was this brainwashing? Had the professor done something so cruel?
I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand.
I grabbed the flailing hand that held the gun and looked deep into her eyes. She was crying and scared. Listen. Mommy's not coming back. But if we do our best, we may be able to make a world where you and Mommy can be happy. That's why she traveled through time. You mustn't waste the chance she gave you. You can still start over.
It's okay to disobey the voice of God?
Yeah. The voice of God she was hearing was probably the professor's brainwashing. How far it had its claws sunk into her mind, I had no way to tell. But now we had Maho, a specialist in brain science. If we work hard at treatment, I'm sure she'll be okay.
Yokobe,
Voice was normal again.
I want to see Mommy. Can I?
You can. Someday.
I'm glad.
There was another sudden gunshot. Kaguri's body collapsed right in front of me. I looked over at where it came from and saw another girl in a black motorcycle suit. She wasn't wearing a helmet, so I could tell that it was Mooka Kiryu pointing a gun at us. Her face was deathly pale, and she was crying. Why? Why are you here? Why? Mocha Kiryu!
FB. Hey, FB. I didn't let that woman trick me. I knew this was a fake phone, so please, don't abandon me. FB. FB.
The cell phone fell from her hands. Another shot from her gun blew it into fragments. I held Kagari in my arms. Her chest was turning red. Hey, hang in there.
I'm glad. Even the voice of God wasn't right all the time. This is my punishment. I destroyed her heart and tried to manipulate her. Sorry. I didn't mean to grow up like this. Mommy, where are you? Where are you?
Her voice grew thinner. Mocha Kiryu collapsed, some distance away. Her eyes were unfocused, and all she did was mumble. She didn't seem capable of coherent thought. Both of them would be in danger if I didn't get them to a hospital. But dozens of men in camo jumped over the fence on the roof out of nowhere. What? Even Daru and Maho couldn't succeed in this short a time span. Was this world line going to converge so that the war started here no matter what? No, but it wasn't a waste. If nothing else, they'd bought me time. And that had delayed the attack long enough for Suzuha and Mayuri to leave. That's right. In this instant, we'd already won. The way forward was still uncertain, but there was no doubt that the path to Steins Gate lay before me. Target 1 lost! Target 2 and Target 3 lost as well. What's going on? The leader was talking on his radio. I could see attack helicopters in the sky. I heard that siren again. This is guerrilla attack information. Repeat, guerrilla attack information. A guerrilla attack may occur in this area. Please get indoors and obtain further information from radio or television broadcasts. The war was starting. Just as I had thought, even the time leap couldn't change that. Is that you, Lintalo? Leskinen appeared from behind the men in camo. That's right, he was a secret member of Stratfor, just like them. What are you doing here? Is Kagari dead? Tell me, Lintalo. Where is the time machine? I lay Kagari down on the ground and slowly rose back up. Blood wouldn't stop coming out of the wound on my leg. The pain was getting worse. But even still, I stood up proud and strong. In front of the men with their guns. In front of the attack helicopter with its rocket launchers. In front of the professor. In front of the war that was about to begin. I laughed as loud as I could in that voice. Listen well, fools! The time machine you sought to attain is gone. It no longer exists in this time. Too bad. Now, curse your own incompetence. And tremble in fear. For I, the great Kyoma Hoenn, will never lose to you, and I will never lose to fate. I will find the path to Steins Gate. That's right. This was the beginning of the long, long epigraph necessary to reach Steins Gate. Madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Einstein had once said that when he despaired of human folly. But now, I would gladly give myself over to that madness and folly. I would use every bit of dedication and obsession within me to seek the lone different outcome, which the laws of God could not reach. That is my choice! Alrighty. So we have reached one of the endings. Not the true ending. Milky Way Crossing. Alright, so that ending. Yeah, that ending was Vega and Altair. So, now that the causal link has been established, allow me to explain the final stage of the plan. The purpose of this plan is to change divergence and reach the unknown world line called Steins Gate. By the way, I'm the one who named it Steins Gate. You of all people know why I named it that, right? Because it sounds cool. Isn't that right? (2025 AD). The Future Gadget Laboratory, aka the Lab. It was also the headquarters of the resistance organization Valkyrie. Once located in a room in a multi-purpose building in Akihabara, it had been moved to a new base after the Third World War. The place was far too filthy to really be called a lab, but it was, without doubt, the home of the best minds in the world as they searched for a way to reach Steins Gate. In the center of the room, Rintaro Okabe was delivering a monologue, posing like a stage actor as his white coat flapped. We reached the moment that you're in right now because we wanted to save Kurisu. All the preparations for my plan are complete. The rest is up to you. The final phase of Operation Skuld will now commence. Your mission: change the outcome without changing established events. Kurisu, aka Maho Hiyaja, was staring at him, annoyed, from a distance away. Kurisu was Maho's codename in Valkyrie. Maho turned towards Itaru Hashida, who was sitting right next to her.
Hey, is that really the right way to go about this?
Yeah, probably. Itaru was grinning. He was history's greatest super hacker, and he loved Kyomahoin too much.
Is Rintaro Okabe going to be embarrassed when he sees that with everyone else in 2010?
Don't worry. Back then, he was even more amazing.
Oh, I see.
Maho sighed and shook her head. But even as she sighed, inside she was so sad that she felt her heart was going to burst. He probably wasn't the only one feeling that way. Itaru, Ruka Urishibara, and even Rumiho Akiha, who was doing the filming, all seemed a little sad when they thought about what was to come. Deceive yourself. Deceive the world. That is the choice you must make to reach Steins Gate. And then Okabe walked towards the camera that Rumiho was holding. He'd insisted on standing away from the camera with his back turned, to give it more atmosphere. Why was he walking towards it now? Maho sighed again. Okabe took the camera from Ferris and brought the lens up to his face. And then he said the final line. Good luck, mad scientist. L. Psi. Konguru. And then he stopped the recording. And the video message to the past was complete. It had taken 15 years to get to this point. It was such a long time. And at the same time, it had felt so short.
Okay, that should do it, yeah.
Alright, now we just send the D-mail back into the past. Yukiko, don't screw up the sender or the timing, okay?
Right, we're sending that one to your phone in 2010. And Itaru's video message goes to Suzuha in 2011.
Yeah, you've got it. Okabe came over to Maho and the others, his white lab coat flapping as he walked.
Good work.
Way to Steins Gate is now open. This is all I can do. The rest is up to the me in 2010. Yeah. What is it? You look so glum.
It's because everyone's so worried. Our first trial of the time machine is going to be a manned experiment.
Maho looked up at the huge time machine, unit number FGC-193 behind them. It was almost the same shape as the C-204 model that had appeared in Akihabara in 2010, but it was still a prototype with many unstable parts. Don't worry. Trust my talented right hands. It'll be a success.
I'm going to die in 2025. In this world line, that's unavoidable. But that doesn't mean I want to see you commit suicide.
They'd had this debate 1,000 times before. Maho herself had thought that she'd come to terms with it, but at the last minute she found herself bringing it up again. You're right. Suzuha told me once that I was going to die in 2025. He said I died saving Mayuri from a thug with a knife. Mayuri's not here right now, but the world lines always converge. I was sure I was going to die in 2025, but... Okabe flipped his white lab coat up a little too dramatically and put his hand to his chest. I don't necessarily have to die, do I? Vanishing from the year 2025 is the same as dying, isn't it?
What do you mean?
This theory was new to Maho. In other words, I don't have to die to leave the year 2025. I can travel to another part of time and space in our first time machine.
That's some serious positive thinking.
But as a theory, it works, right? The world can be tricked? Deceived? No. The world can be deceived. That message from another world line gave me courage. What I'm about to do is also a trial run for Operation Skuld.
Yeah, you're right.
But to Maho and the others, it was all the same. After 2025, Ritaro Okabe would be gone. He would never come back. He wasn't saying it, but he knew it too. He stared at each of his friends for a moment in turn, as if to help him memorize their faces. Most of the founding members of Valkyrie and the former members of the Future Gadget Lab were here to see him go. Itaru Hashida, Rumiho Akiha, aka Ferris Nyanyan, Ruka Urushibara, Maho Hiajo, and standing quietly in the back, Yuki Hashida. A 7-year-old Suzuha Hashida was hiding behind her legs. I don't know why Suzuha's name messed me up so much. Everyone, thanks for coming this far for someone like me. But the battle against the laws of God continues. The next fight is in 2036. Until then, keep it up. Good luck, Valkyrie. She listened to Okabe's final goodbye. Maho tried her best to stop herself from crying. She couldn't cry here. She'd decided long ago that she'd keep hope in her heart as she watched him go. Alright, I'm to go catch my escaped hostage. Take care of Suzuha, too. Leave it to me. With the Kerr black hole tracer loaded onto this thing, I'm sure it'll be just fine. That was a special device that only the C-193 was equipped with. It was capable of tracing the space-time distortion continuity created by a Kerr black hole, anywhere from 70 million years in the past to the future. You could call it a time machine tracker. It had been specially designed to allow them to find another time machine. Of course, they had only one reason for making it. To find Mayuri Shina and Suzuha Amane, who'd gone beyond the space-time horizon on Tanabata in 2011. They'd guessed that when the battery on the C-204 failed, it had lost the ability to properly time travel. But after finding them with the C-193, Okabe would give them a spare battery and send them back to this time. If possible, he'd go too. If they could do that, this mission would be 100% complete. But doing that with this prototype time machine would be extremely difficult. Okabe had to have known that. Perhaps he was thinking of sacrificing himself to send Mayuri and Suzuha back at this time. Alright, I'm off. See you.
Wait!
The last member of the Future Gadget Lab, Kaguri Shina, came running onto the floor.
Kaguri! I wondered why you weren't here. Where have you been? Sorry, I went to get this. Kaguri, take this. For good luck.
Kaguri handed him a faded green Upa keychain. You sure? This is important to you, isn't it?
Yes, that's why I'm giving it to you. Make sure you give it back, and bring Mommy back too.
Got it. I'll bring it back. I promise. Okabe took the keychain and gave everyone one final firm handshake. Finally, he came to Maho.
Stay safe.
You too, Kurisu. No, Maho.
Hey,
Yeah?
you think Steins can't really exist? You really think that there's a world between where both Mayuri and Kurisu survive?
It was the first time she'd asked that in 14 years, since the battle began on that year's Tanabata. It does. I know it. Rintaro Okabe, Kyo Mahoin, answered her with a smile. But his smile seemed so sad that Maho couldn't help but cry. Don't cry.
I'm not crying.
Maho gave him a hug and swore to herself that she'd never forget his warmth and conviction.
Goodbye.
Okabe nodded a little. Okay, everyone step back. We will now begin the operation, and the name of this operation shall be Operation Altair. He shouted as if trying to raise his own spirits, not just everyone else's. And then he entered the cockpit of the FG C-193 time machine. Maho and the others quickly began the countdown sequence to start the time machine. Since this was a trial run too, they needed to record all the data they could get. A low roar enveloped the whole machine. The vibration and noise were so loud that the building shook a little. But as far as Maho could tell, the data was normal. The thick hatch of the time machine was slowly closing. Then there was the sharp sound of it sealing tight, cutting Okabe off from the rest of them forever.
It's going to work, right? Don't worry. Someone will do just fine, yeah? That's right. He's the man who makes the impossible possible.
Yeah, that's our Ocarine.
Ocarine.
A rainbow-colored fog started to rise up around the machine. The sound of the engine grew so loud that it threatened to blow out their eardrums and no one could hear a thing. Ocarine! Itaru screamed, unable to hold back any longer. It doesn't matter if you're supposed to die. Come back here anyway.
Everyone will be waiting. I'll be waiting too, so make sure you come back.
As they screamed, the machine started to fade away. And then, just as he'd promised on that distant day, he followed the two Orihimes. With a blinding flash of light, the time machine took off from the year 2025, heading for a time far away, and disappeared. Wait, is that the end? Oh my god, it is the end! Oh my god. What the fuck? Oh my god. I'm so... Oh, Jesus Christ. Interesting. So that's very different. Ah. I wonder if there's a post-credit scene. Post-credit scene. Whatever. Oh my god. Interesting. So that whole rooftop situation went completely different in the show versus in the visual novel. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh my god. I just kind of want to listen to this for a little bit. Oh, and the last face to be revealed is Kurisu's. Oh my god. Alright, now that the song is starting to wind down. Oh. Is there gonna be a post-credit scene? I do wonder. Now, go to the world that is still unseen. Steins Gate. Milky Way crossing completed. And that is it! Holy shit! Let's just... clear list. Recursive Mother Goose, Twin Automata, Promised Renascimento, Milky Way Crossing, Vega and Altair, and Gehenna's Stigma. And we have... oh, wait, nope. We are not leaving. You know what? No, let's just hang out on this page for a little bit while we, talk about this. So first of all, holy shit, that was so different of an experience from original Steins Gate, and from the show, actually. One thing that I didn't super love was the amount of rehashing that you had to go through between Gehenna's Stigma and god, what's the other one? Oh god. Oh no, I lost it. Oh no. Oh, never mind. Sorry. In Pandora's Box versus Presage or Recognize, there was a lot of similarity between those two chapters, which definitely made me feel like I was just reading the same thing over again, which, you know, not super interesting, but, you know, whatever. I do wish that it had kind of funneled me into the other endings first. So, like, funneled me into a Stray Sheep, the Orbital Eclipse, you know, Antonomic Duel, and those three endings before we sent the D-Rhine back and ended up in X-Day Protocol. Just because, like, I feel like that has better narrative flow. Like, I know that I technically can just go into X-Day Protocol directly in the main game, but I wish there was some sort of indication that, you know, maybe you could go this other way first, you know, maybe it would be better. But overall, I do really like that the different timelines can interact with each other a little bit more. It makes for a very interesting situation there. The translation definitely got a little bit rougher at times. Nowhere near the stuff that we saw in My Darling's Embrace, I think, had some issues. And the Linear Bounded Phoenogram, I think, had fewer, but still some. This also definitely had some where I was just like, I think this sentence is supposed to be something else. But not bad in terms of translation. I feel like, I don't know, you didn't get quite as good of an idea of the side characters as you did in original Steins Gate, which I feel was really credit to original Steins Gate. Like, the amount that I know about Mr. Tenoji versus the amount that I know about Judy Reyes, huge difference. And, like, even Leskinen and Kaguri. Like, Kaguri we definitely know more about. I'd say Maho we definitely know the most about. But, yeah. And then, you know, what's her name? Fubuki showed up for a little bit, didn't really do much, and then kind of just was an element. And Kaede did absolutely nothing at all. Like, why did she exist? I'm not entirely sure. And I feel like expanding the cast a lot was kind of to its detriment. But at the same time, I didn't hate it. Because, like, even though they weren't super developed, you know, we still got the character development with the characters who mattered. And, I don't know. Overall, oh yeah, also Amadeus. I think we could have gotten a little bit more on Amadeus and just, like, seen a little bit more of who she was as just like a person, because we didn't really see too much. But that's a little bit beside the point, because also that would be kind of just rehashing Kurisu, which is not ideal either. But overall, I had a great time with this. I think this was a lot of fun. It's very cool to see, like, this aspect of the story and this branch of things built up and explained, and just in general, like, showing how we got, you know, that strange outburst from Mayuri, that video sent from the from the future, all of that. Like, in the end, I suppose it wasn't 100% necessary, but also it's just really cool to see, you know? So, yeah, highly recommend it. I would recommend that you play it as well. I probably missed some shit somewhere in there when I didn't answer the phone at the right time or didn't respond to the right text messages or whatever the fuck. But we have completed all of this. Next up, since there are no more games in the Steins heading, Steins Gate, whatever, in the Steins heading of the Science Adventure series, at least not yet, we will be going to Robotics Notes next, because Robotics Notes and Robotics Notes Dash are set within the Steins Gate timeline, I believe. Not 100% sure, but I believe they are. And there are also some characters that interrelate between the two. Also, there is apparently another Steins Gate project in the works somewhere, somehow, nothing has been revealed. It's called Steins ? So nobody knows anything about what the fuck is going on. But, you know, if that does end up happening, I will be sure to cover it on the channel. And now we have reached the end of Steins Gate 0. We have closed the loop and we have found our way to the timeline unseen. So for now, thank you all so much for following my playthrough of Steins Gate 0, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.